Singing hi, diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-I. My tears flowed like a river when you said goodbye. Singing hi, diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-do. I'll cross every river until I find you. We met in the spring where the Platte River bends. We strolled by the cedar where we became friends. I told you I loved you by the almighty Mo. But along...
Losing the Ring in the River, a play by Brigid Amos, based on the poetry of Marge Saiser. The play takes place in the kitchen of a farmhouse in Boyd County, Nebraska. The time is late August of 1966. Emma and her daughter Liz have arrived at Grandma Clara's farm on a Saturday morning. We hear their voices as they look around the house for Clara.
Mama, are you in here?
Grandma?
It's so strange that she's not here. Hang on. No, her car's not out back either. She's out buying groceries. I just know she is. I told her we weren't staying long.
Man, it's boiling in here, even with all the windows open. Was it like this when you were growing up?
Oh, yes. And in the winter, it was cold as... well, cold. Mom always said this was not a good house, but Daddy thought it was just fine, so he never did a thing about it. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no.
What's the matter?
Look at all these tomatoes. Oh, Mama, don't do this now, not tonight.
Mellow out, Mom. They're just tomatoes. A heck of a lot of tomatoes. Oh, look. Here's another basket full. I guess it's just tomato season in Boyd County.
Liz, darling, you don't understand the problem here. It's not just all these tomatoes in these baskets. It's all these jars here. You see, all these tomatoes have to be blanched, peeled, cut up, and then stuffed into these jars and sealed. It's a long, hot job. I know, I grew up doing it every summer.
Well, I, for one, can appreciate a nice, juicy, homegrown tomato.
Do you know what's involved in canning tomatoes? Boiling water. A lot of boiling water, and the steam from the boiling water, all that on top of this wretched heat.
Oh.
Your Grandma Clara has a late, sweaty night planned for us.
I guess canning tomatoes would be a good skill to learn.
Yeah, well, I've learned it already. I knew it. I knew she wasn't going to let us just come up here, get the truck, and leave.
She's your mother, not a used car agency.
And what is that supposed to mean?
I'm just saying it wouldn't kill you to come up here and visit her when we're not picking up a truck.
I visit her. Anyway, she doesn't really want a bunch of people underfoot. She never did.
All I know is that when I was growing up, we only came up here for holidays and maybe for a week during summer vacations.
You haven't been here at all since you started at the university. Nothing's stopping you from visiting your grandmother more often.
I don't have a car.
Well, now you do, so get off your high horse.
Aha! I have a truck, not a car. Grandpa's old truck.
I told you, we can trade it in.
For a bright red Pontiac GTO. Yeah, that's what I need. A fast car with a whole lot of horsepower.
We'll trade it in for a dependable vehicle.
And someday, I'll drive that shiny fast car along the ocean.
And where are you going to find an ocean?
In California.
Oh.
Mom, don't be like that.
It's fine, Liz. I have nothing against California.
Hey, you don't think she'll be upset about trading in the truck, do you? I mean, she's been making such a big deal about how Grandpa Luke wanted me to have his truck and when we were coming to get it.
Yeah, maybe we better not tell her just yet. The way she's been going on about it, you'd think it was this grand inheritance or something.
Well, at least I'm a truck heiress. It's better than nothing.
I don't know, Liz. You're a beat up old rusted out farm truck heiress.
You're right. It's not better than nothing.
Well, your legacy's out back if you want to take a look at it.
Ooh, my legacy. Yep, same piece of
Liz!
manure. Weird. It's just like sitting there waiting for Grandpa to come back. Ha! One of Grandma's chickens just flew up and landed on the hood. It's one of her banties. She's just strutting around like she owns it. Uh-oh, now she's pecking at something.
I don't believe it. I tried to give her an electric percolator for Christmas a few years back, but she wouldn't take it. She made me return it to the store. She said she just couldn't see how automatic coffee could taste as good as real coffee. Now I wonder where she...
Hey, you Banty! You little stinker, get down off of there. That's not your broken down old truck, it's mine now. Oh, she flapped herself back down to the ground.
It's so strange that Mama wasn't here waiting for us. I wonder where she went.
I'm going out to take a look at the truck.
All right, but please, Liz, don't drive it until your grandmother gets home. It would seem grabby.
But I am grabby.
Mama.
Hey, Mom, these were just hanging on the railing porch, and they're dry now. Do you think Grandma...
No, don't bring those back in. Those are milk stink rags.
Ooh, they stink.
What are you putting your nose in them for? I just told you they were milk stink rags.
Why are they out there drying in the sun?
I don't know. That's just what she does. She dries them out on the railing before she washes them. Oh, don't stand there holding them. Go put them back.
All right. Milk stink rags going back to their appointed place on the porch railing. So the truck was open. I got in and sat in the driver's seat for a moment. It felt odd. Looking through the windshield from the driver's side, the glass is so caked with dirt, you can hardly see through it.
It's been sitting out there since he died.
Grandpa Luke's fishing hooks are still there, hanging from the ceiling, pushed through the fabric like he used to do. It's just weird they're still there.
Not for long. We'll pull those hooks out and pitch them before we trade it in.
I remember riding in that truck when I was little, standing on the seat beside Grandpa Luke with those fish hooks right overhead, almost brushing my scalp.
That wasn't you, that was me.
Huh?
You never rode around in that truck with your grandfather. I must have told you how when I was little, I rode around with those fish hooks over my head.
No, I'm sure I remember.
Frankly, I'm lucky I survived my childhood in this house. When I was 5, Mama let me slide down the tar paper roof, and on one of my trips down, I had a nail sticking out and tore my thigh open right here. When Mama saw all that blood running out onto the tar paper.
Did you ever almost kill me when I was little?
No, I was a good mother.
So you tell me all the time, but fess up, Mom. Did you ever almost kill me?
Something did happen when you were a baby. One day, I was going in my rocking chair to read the newspaper, and just as I was about to sit down, I saw your little body crawling out from behind. I was always so careful with you, but somehow I lost track, and you were such a quick child. And what I didn't see at first was that in that moment I was about to sit down, your perfect round head was right there between the wood of the china cabinet and the edge of the back of the rocking chair. I almost sat down, but something stopped me. It still scares me to think about it. Don't touch those fish hooks. Let me pull them out. She's back.
Oh, you're here already. And Liz, honey, oh, so wonderful to see you.
It's great to see you too, Grandma.
Mama, where are your sacks?
What sacks? I don't have any sacks. Have you been here long?
No, not long. I thought maybe you'd just gone out to buy groceries.
Oh, I did all that yesterday. No, I just had to go out. I don't spend all my time at home, you know. So, how's the college girl? You're on your summer break now, aren't you?
Summer break's over. Liz starts classes on Monday morning.
Oh. Oh, I thought you were staying for a few days, at least.
I'm sorry, Mama, but we need to leave early tomorrow morning.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm just glad you had the time to come up and visit your old grandmother and take that truck. It's been sitting out there ever since your grandfather died. You know, he wanted you to have it, you know. He always said he wanted you to have that truck.
It was nice of him to think of me.
Well, he wanted you to have it. He always said so. What's wrong? Now, you two are staring at me like judges at the county fair looking at my prize banties. Well, do I get a blue ribbon or not?
Oh, here you go, Grandma. As official judge of the Boyd Founty Fair Poultry Competition, I award you the blue ribbon.
Oh, well, I'm just a blue ribbon rascal. What is it, Emma? Why are you staring at me with that gloomy look?
You've lost weight, Mama.
Yeah, a little, I suppose. You know, without your father here to cook for him, probably not eating as much as I used to.
Your dress is practically hanging off of you, and don't think I haven't noticed your wedding ring.
What's wrong with my ring?
You've tied dental floss around it to make it fit. Even your fingers have lost weight.
Don't be silly. This ring has always been loose on me.
But Mama.
Oh, did you see the tomatoes I got this year?
Yes, we saw. It looks like you're planning to do some canning.
Yeah, got it all set up. And I'm so glad you two are here. It'll go so much quicker tonight with the three of us working together. Emma, remember how we used to stay up all night canning tomatoes?
I remember. So, Mama, about the sudden weight loss.
We'll talk about it later. Yeah, I needed to trim up a bit anyway.
All right. So where did you go today?
Oh, I went out. I told you that.
Just wondering where you went.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Well, if you must know, I had to go down to the old school for a blood check. I thought I'd be back hours ago, but you never know how long it's going to take at that clinic. I mean, imagine when I got there, the nurse hadn't even arrived yet from South Dakota.
What was the blood check for?
Well, the doctor up in Burke ordered it.
But Mama, you must have some idea why.
Well, let's just have a nice day together. You know, I haven't seen or talked to Liz since, well, I don't know when. You know, Eddie's kids are over here all the time, but Liz, I hardly ever get to see. And tonight we'll can tomatoes together and it'll be like old times.
I'm really excited about learning to can tomatoes, Grandma. We used to come up earlier in the summer, so I guess I always missed tomato canning season. It seems like a useful skill to have.
It is a useful skill to have, especially when you get married and have to feed a family. Don't you think, Emma? You know, knowing how to can fruits and vegetables is a useful skill.
Once I left this house, I never canned a single thing.
Oh, well, I guess living down there in Kearney, you've got everything you need at the supermarket.
Oh, yes, the big metropolis of Kearney, Nebraska.
And you, young lady, living in Lincoln, the state capital, that must be something.
Well, I spend most of my time at the university. You know, I live right on campus.
Right on campus, is that right?
Uh-huh. I live in a women's dormitory. And I get all my meals there, so I don't really have to worry about cooking or shopping for groceries or anything like that. Oh, and this year I'm moving into Sandoz Hall, which is brand new. And get this, it's air conditioned.
Oh, now that sounds like the life. Maybe I should go to college.
Have you ever been to Lincoln, Grandma?
No, I never made it there. Years ago, I wanted to bring my banties to the state fair in Lincoln, especially Julius. Remember Julius?
Poor Julius.
Why poor Julius?
Coyote got him.
No, I swear he was such a handsome rooster. I'm sure he could have won Best in Show, even at the state fair. But Luke wouldn't take me, and of course I couldn't go there on my own. Luke never understood why I wanted to breed banties. Always said I had enough to do with taking care of the house and the children. So I never did go to the state fair.
You could still go to the state fair, Grandma. You could visit me in Lincoln and we could go together.
Oh, sweet girl, I would love to visit you in Lincoln. But I don't think I could travel there this fall.
So we'll plan on a year from this fall.
That sounds wonderful, Liz. Yes, a year from now. Let's plan on it.
But Grandma, I don't think we could keep a chicken in the dorm.
No? Well, I'll leave the chickens at home then. Oh, I made up Eddie's room for you, Liz. And Emma, I have your old room. Oh, so you two go and unpack and I'll fix dinner.
We call it lunch in Lincoln.
No, well, I know, but when you get up before dawn to milk the cows, by noon, it's dinner time. So after we eat, I expect you'll want to pay a visit to your cousins.
My cousins? You mean Eddie's children?
Mama, we hadn't planned to see.
They all still live around here?
Of course they do. Russell still farms Eddie's place, and Norma and her husband run the cafe in town. I let them know you were coming for a visit, and they were so excited to see you again.
Mama, we hadn't planned anything with them.
What plan? Just stop by Russell's place and then go on to the cafe and have coffee with Norma. That doesn't need to be a plan with family.
I know, Mama, but we're just here to pick up Daddy's truck, and tomorrow Liz and I have to caravan with my car and the truck all the way to Lincoln. I told you that.
I know. I just thought you'd want to see them while you're here.
I'd love to see my niece and nephew. I really would, but there's just no time for that on this visit.
You know, we could stay an extra day. I could always miss classes on Monday.
Miss the first day of classes? I don't think so.
I'm sorry I brought up the subject.
And the tomatoes. We're going to be up all night canning those tomatoes.
Oh, well, Emma, you don't have to can tomatoes if you don't want to.
But I want to can the tomatoes.
I just thought it would be a nice thing for the three of us to do together. I imagined, well, I don't know what I imagined, something different. I didn't think it would be any trouble for you.
No, it's no trouble. We'll can the tomatoes.
All right. I'll call Russell and Norma, let them know you're not coming. Well, you two go and get settled. I'll call you when dinner, excuse me, lunch is ready.
Do you need help, Mama?
No, I don't need any help. Now you two go and freshen up.
Are you sure, Grandma?
Yes, of course. Now scoot.
Mama, I could...
I'm fine. Go on. I'll call you when it's ready. Oh, dear Lord. Give me enough strength to get through this visit. Give me just enough.
Emma, Liz, and Clara are sitting around the kitchen table. They have just finished the noonday meal. Liz holds up a chicken bone and examines it.
If I were a coyote, I'd eat this chicken bone. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I forgot about Julius.
That's all right. I'm glad you enjoyed your lunch.
Seriously, Grandma, this is the most delicious chicken I have ever tasted.
That's because it's fresh. In fact, just this morning, that chicken was strutting around our back.
I wish you hadn't told me that.
He wasn't a particularly pretty chicken. I never eat the really pretty ones.
Well, I hate to eat and run, but I need to get going.
Get going? Where are you going?
I'm going to see Helen Swanson.
You mean Helen Christensen?
That's right. She married a Christensen.
Your mother and Helen were thick as thieves when they were little girls. Back then, it seemed like all she wanted was to be over at the Swanson farm all the time. I always wondered what the big attraction they had over there. So you're still in touch with Helen?
Mama, you know I always see Helen when I come back home, and we always have the same conversation.
No, that's fine. You and Liz go on.
Oh, I'm not going. I've got no part in that, what we did back in the 1940s. I have nothing to add to that. I'll stay right here with you, Grandma.
Yeah, well, my stories go back a lot farther than the 1940s.
That's fine with me. Yours are the ones I'd rather hear anyway.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying that I'm here to visit my grandmother, and I'd rather stay and talk to her than your friend. That's all.
Well, Liz, I didn't invite you. I said I have to get going, not we have to get going.
Okay, so go then.
Mama, now what's wrong with you?
Nothing. Go and have a nice visit with Helen.
Am I not allowed to have a friend my age, a woman friend my age that I can talk to once in a while?
Of course, Emma. No one said.
I don't have any friends left in Kearney. I don't know what happened. I suppose I lost them all in the divorce. It's just that Helen has remained a good friend to me. So I'm going to take a little time out of this weekend and have a cup of coffee with her. Is that so awful?
Emma, you don't have to make a big thing out of it. Just go.
Well, I am going.
I just remembered. I made a lemon meringue pie.
That looks delicious.
It was always your mother's favorite. We'll save a slice for her.
We're not obligated or anything.
Well.
No, we're really not. If she wants pie, she can have it with Mrs. Christensen.
I didn't mean to upset her. No matter how hard I try not to, I managed to upset her somehow.
Mom was born upset.
She was. It's so different from Eddie. He was such an easy child. And when he grew to a man, so easygoing. He never had a cross word for me, and that's the truth.
It was sad that he died so young.
It was the job that killed him.
Really? I thought, you mean he died on the job?
He died from the job. It was the shaking of the bulldozer.
I don't understand. What did the shaking of the bulldozer have to do with the leukemia?
Leukemia. That was just what the doctor said he had because they didn't know. But I was his mother. I knew it was the job that killed him, the shaking of the bulldozer.
I never heard that story before.
Well, you were just a child at the time. You probably don't even remember him.
I remember when he fixed up my old bike, painted it bright blue. I was so proud of that bike my Uncle Eddie made new again.
Yeah, he was real good at fixing things. And all he ever wanted to be was a farmer, like his father.
Why was he driving a bulldozer?
He wanted to buy a place of his own, get married, start a family. So he took that bulldozer job. I couldn't stop him. I tried, but I just couldn't stop him.
Oh, Grandma, maybe we shouldn't talk about this.
Oh, no. No, Liz, I don't have anyone to talk about Eddie with anymore. His wife is remarried, and his children are busy having their own children, so.
I would love to hear about Uncle Eddie. My mother never talks about him.
Oh, well, she was always jealous of him.
Why would she be jealous of Uncle Eddie?
When she came along, a mother has just so much love to give. Eddie was my firstborn. He was my first. And that's special. Your mother never understood?
I'm not sure I do either.
Liz, I hope you don't think.
I mean, what do I know? I'm my mother's only child.
Oh, that's right. So you get all your mother's love.
I get all my mother's everything.
The funny thing is, I gave birth to 2 children, and the hard birth was the easy child, and the easy birth was
my mother.
That's right. I had Eddie right there in that north bedroom where you're staying.
Wow. Is there a doctor involved?
Just the neighbor women. I sure gave them a hard time. I screamed and hit them. Would hardly stay in the bed. One of them even stood barring the door to keep me from escaping. And where would I go?
Run as fast and as far away as you could get?
Too late for that, I'm afraid. When it was over, they lay him across my belly, but I was unconscious, so I didn't feel his weight there at all. Later, though, when I first held him in my arms, with this little thing wrinkled and asleep, I felt a wave flowing over my body. Until that moment, I didn't know it was possible to love that much.
That's a beautiful story. It's also a very scary story.
Things are so different now. It won't be that hard for you.
I sure hope not. I see you kept a lot of things in the north bedroom.
I kept everything that reminds me of him. Oh, see this little mirror here? He'd stand here, right here, and talk to me and comb his hair. He's getting ready to go out. He'd tell me about the girls he wanted to dance with. Oh, this was before he was married, of course.
That is so funny. Think of Uncle Eddie going out dancing with girls and telling you about it.
No, Emma was the opposite. I wanted to be close with her. I really did. I tried so hard, but she would never talk to me like Eddie did.
Oh, well, I suppose she...
But she talks to you, doesn't she?
Sure, she talks to me.
No, what I mean is, well, you two are close, aren't you? I mean, even for a mother and daughter, you're close.
I'd say we're close. Maybe even two.
Does she ever talk about me?
Oh, Grandma. Of course she talks about you.
All good things, I hope.
All good things. Yes, all good things.
Well, what kind of things?
She was telling me about how the two of you used to can tomatoes.
Oh, we did indeed. Oh, the time we spent right here in this kitchen. Well, that's a relief. It's just that when she was growing up in this house, she hardly ever told me anything about her life.
There are things I don't tell my mother.
Well, a young girl's bound to keep secrets from her mother.
Of course. You are not my mother.
Your secrets are safe with me.
Well...
Is it a boy? You can tell me. This is what grandmothers are for.
All right, then. I met him almost a year ago. My mother still doesn't know about him.
A student at the university.
No, he works there, though, on the grounds crew. He cuts the grass, trims the bushes, that sort of thing.
No, there's nothing wrong with that sort of thing, Liz. That's good, honest work.
My mother doesn't think so.
So you and this young man are courting?
Something like that. On one of our first dates, we went to Wabunsee State Park in Iowa.
Iowa? I've always wanted to go to the Iowa State Fair.
That's in Des Moines. Wabunsee is on the cliffs along the Missouri River.
Oh, yes, of course.
Anyway, we hiked to the top of the bluffs and looked down on the trees and the fields and the river, and it was so beautiful. Warm, but the leaves had turned red and yellow and the fields were cut and lay flat. I looked at him and he was beautiful with his blue eyes, so open. And then I turned and went down into the oaks and he followed, and that was that.
That was what? Oh.
Grandma, do you know what I'm talking about?
Of course I do. I didn't just fall off the turnip truck.
You won't tell my mother, will you?
I would never do that. Your secret's safe with me.
It's not so much it's just that she won't understand about his being on the grounds crew. Mom is determined I marry someone with a college degree and a stable job. I think it's because Dad didn't have a college degree and he had to work all those jobs.
That poor man. He tried so hard to be a farmer, but it just didn't work out for him.
That's not how I remember it. What I remember is that my mother married a farmer and then didn't want to be a farmer's wife, didn't want to live on a farm.
I never heard that. I thought...
You thought what she wanted you to think. The truth is, he knocked himself out all the time trying to please her, buying her things, but nothing he did was right. If he bought her a rug, for instance, oh no, it wasn't the right color, not the right style or size.
She was always hard to please.
She makes a big show to everyone about how he left her. The truth is, she drove him away. He escaped. Good for him. Escaped to California.
Liz, there are things a child doesn't know about.
I'm not a child anymore. And all I know is that I had a father and then I didn't.
You still have a father.
Someday I'm going to drive out to California. Me and my dad will go camping again, and he'll make a fire like he did when I was little. I had a letter from him. He's invited me out there when I graduate. Of course, he's remarried, has some more kids now.
That all sounds good, Liz, but I wouldn't try to drive that truck out there if that's what you're planning.
Oh, no. I'll get myself a fast car for that trip.
Oh.
Did Grandpa really want me to have that truck? I mean, did he actually say that?
He said it all the time.
That's just weird.
Why? He wanted to leave you something.
But his old truck?
Well, I'm sorry, but he didn't have the money to buy you that fast car.
No, I wasn't expecting.
Oh, no, Luke gave your mother a car before she left. A Ford Standard, last one in the showroom. The war was on and they weren't even making them anymore. Luke was proud of himself because he got the last one they had. And he paid cash. We had a good year on the farm.
Did Eddie get a car too?
No, not that I recall.
So just us girls got vehicles from Grandpa? What about Eddie's daughter? Did she get a car?
You mean from Luke? Oh, no, he never.
Wasn't he close with his other granddaughter? With Eddie's daughter?
Norma.
What?
Her name is Norma. She's your cousin. You should know her name, for heaven's sake.
I know her name. Of course I know her name. You see, what I'm just trying to understand is why Norma didn't get a car from Grandpa and I did. I mean, you'd think he would have left the truck to her. She lives here and she was over here all the time. I mean, why me and not her?
Because she's married and her husband just bought a brand new pickup truck, but because you're a college student, your mother can't afford to buy you a car. Because you never come to visit, and maybe he thought that if you had the truck.
I'm sorry I haven't visited more often.
No, that's not your fault. We were having such a nice conversation about your young man.
I'm sorry, Grandma. Let's get back to that conversation. Tell me about how you met Grandpa.
Oh, you don't want to hear that story.
I do so want to hear it.
No, that was so long ago. And frankly, I'm not sure it's such a good story. You might think, well, I don't know what you'd think if you heard it.
Now I really want to hear it. Come on, Grandma, I told you about my boyfriend.
But your story is full of hope about the future. And mine is about the past, and sometimes the past is in the past. Plus, it makes me look like the silly young girl I was.
I would love to hear about you as a silly young girl. I'm a silly young girl. We're all silly young girls at some point, aren't we?
Unfortunately, yes, we are.
So please, tell me how you met Grandpa. How you chose him.
Well, all right then. Well, I've always loved to dance,
No, I didn't know.
Eddie got that from me. We were the dancers in the family.
So you taught Grandpa to dance?
Yes. Oh, but I knew him before that. I mean, at least I knew who he was. Everyone here knew who everyone else was, of course. But he really didn't pay any attention to me back then.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
No, it's true. In fact, he and another boy fought over a woman at that dance.
Like argued, fought, or?
Oh, no, like the way men fight over a woman. They went after each other over that woman. And the whole time she just stood there in her tight blouse with her arms crossed, just waiting to see who won.
Well, who won?
It sure wasn't Luke. His friends picked him up from the floor, blood streaming from his nose, and steered him out the door. And I scrambled after him in my new shoes. After that, he paid attention to me, and later on we got married. Now, it's not a very romantic story, is it?
No, I was just thinking if Grandpa had won that fight.
Oh, that woman? She left town eventually.
Or if you had stayed at the dance and danced with other boys.
If I had stayed at the dance, you might not be sitting here talking to me. So don't go on about all those what ifs. Anyway, I was set on Luke. I would have found a way.
You were that much in love with him?
You know, even after we were married, when I'd follow him across the yard to the barn, I'd kind of study him. I knew the back of his neck, you know, the brown skin with the creases, like a mosaic. And in the summer, the way the sweat in his shirt would dry and leave a thin line of salts in the fabric across his back. I didn't know much about art, but to me, oh, that was art. Well, I shocked you this time? We were newlyweds then. You know how newlyweds are. What's the matter?
I didn't know that man.
Well, of course not. That was years before.
I knew a completely different man. My memories of Grandpa Luke are so... And the stories my mother's told me about growing up here.
Luke had his faults. I don't deny that. But he always loved your mother, and he always loved you. No, he's dead now, and it's wrong of you to speak ill of the dead.
I'm not speaking ill of him. I'm really not.
Is this because the truck is old? Well, I'm sorry, but he wanted to leave you something. I don't know if you know this, but we never had much. So he left you the only thing he could.
I didn't expect him to leave me anything. I didn't want anything from him.
Well, you got the truck. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. Okay, I'll take it.
Fine. You'll have something to remember him by.
Oh, sure. I'll remember him by that truck. He drove that truck around with me, 3 years old, standing up on the passenger seat. And there were those fish hooks sticking out of the roof, these sharp metal barbs just inches away from my scalp.
I'm sure he wouldn't have let those hooks hurt you. You never did get scratched by those hooks when you were little, did you?
No.
Then don't find trouble where none exists. You know, if you don't like the truck, then trade it in for something else or sell it. I don't care what you do with it.
I'm glad to hear that because I am going to trade it in.
Well, what would a young girl like you want with a pickup truck anyway? Get yourself a car that's right for a college student.
I will.
Good. Now, I'm only carrying out Luke's wishes.
I know that. And I'm just telling you what I remember.
Telling me what you remember. Now, that sounds exactly like something your mother would say to me.
I am not like my mother.
No, you're not. You know, when your mother was young, we argued all the time. Now, even the night before she left and moved away to live on her own, we were canning tomatoes just like we will tonight. And I remember standing here in this steamy kitchen while your mother told me every mistake I ever made, just counted them off.
She has a way of doing that.
And then the next morning she was pulling out of the driveway in the Ford Luke gave her. And when she saw me, she stuck her arm out the window and I grabbed it. and put my old foolish face in her hand and kissed her palm. But she didn't stop. The car kept rolling and I took a step to keep up and then I let go.
She didn't even stop the car?
No. My daughter was gone and she's hardly ever come back. And I just don't understand because sometimes it seems like she's still angry and I don't know what it is I've done.
I'm sorry, Grandma. I didn't mean to upset you with my questions. I really didn't. It's just that there are things I want to understand about myself, about my family. And I know you think I'm this carefree college student, but the truth is, I have problems.
We all have problems. You don't get through this life without your share of problems. But listen to me, Liz, you are not your problems. You are so much more than your problems.
Does Norma have problems?
Norma? No more than the usual, I suppose. Anyway, you should ask her that yourself. It wouldn't hurt you to get to know your cousins. Oh, I'm so tired all of a sudden. Please excuse me, Liz. I'm going to my room for a while.
Oh, Grandma, I'm so sorry. I've worn you down with all this stuff, haven't I?
No, it's not that. I'm just feeling a little... I just need to rest up a bit. You know, we have a big night tonight with the canning.
I heard. I'm looking forward to learning to can.
Good. I'm glad. You know, it's a good skill to have. You never know when you need to... I'm sorry. I have to go to my room now. I won't be down long.
All right, Grandma. Thanks again for lunch. And the pie, of course.
Yep. Be sure to leave a piece for your mother.
We'll see.
Clara goes to her bedroom to take a nap. Alone in the kitchen, Liz starts to cut herself a piece of the lemon meringue pie. She changes her mind, picks up the whole pie, and proceeds to eat it. It is mid-afternoon. Liz sits at the kitchen table reading a magazine. Emma returns from her visit.
Did you have a good time with your friend?
Actually, yes, I did. What was this?
Lemon meringue pie.
You ate an entire lemon meringue pie while I was gone?
Grandma had one slice.
Was it good?
Best I've ever had.
She taught me how. It seems like mine should be as good as hers. It seems like mine should be exactly the same.
Well, there's something about pie making that she didn't tell you because this pie.
You always were a greedy little girl. Where is Mama, by the way?
She's in her room taking a nap.
Liz, what did you do?
Why do you assume I did something? Don't old people take naps?
Not that old person. That old person rises before dawn and doesn't slow down until long after sundown.
She seems fine to me.
You don't know her like I do.
Well, whose fault is that?
I don't know. Mine, right?
I'm just saying it would have been nice to know my grandmother better. I mean, I remember coming here fairly regularly when I was really little, but then it all tapered off, and then we only came once in a while, eventually hardly ever.
Well, in case you missed it, your father left us and it was difficult. So excuse me if I didn't have the time or energy to haul up here all the time. Excuse me if I didn't want to come back to this house when my own home was falling apart.
My father left you.
What?
You said he left us. Not you, us. You've said that for so long, I believed it. I used to think my father left me, but now I don't think he did that. I think it was you he left.
All right, Liz, he left me, not us. What difference does it make? He was gone all the same. And I know it was hard on you, but it was very hard on me. You were too young at the time. You had no idea.
I wasn't too young to miss him when he was gone. I remember how Dad used to build a fire, moving the logs into just the right position to let enough air in and keep the flame going. He knew how to feed it and when to add another log, just how to place the log without smothering the flame.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't have frozen to death without him around. And of course, it was handy to have a man around the house to change the light bulbs.
What?
No, I mean it. In fact, the last thing he did before he left was repair the light fixture in your room. He didn't know it was broken, or
He would have taken care of it.
I don't know why I didn't ask him before that, but anyway, his suitcase was packed and he was almost out the door, and I asked him if he wouldn't mind fixing the light in your room before he went. I held a candle up to him, standing on the step ladder with a screwdriver, taking it apart. Neither of us said a word. And I kept thinking there was something I should say to him, but I couldn't think of what it was. And when he finished fixing the light, he picked up his one suitcase and left. Afterward, I realized I hadn't even thanked him.
That was what you should have said to him. That was what you never said to him.
A husband and wife don't have to.
I swear, my whole childhood, I don't remember ever hearing you say thank you to Dad.
Oh, and you heard every word that passed between us? I don't think so.
Did you ever tell him thank you for anything?
I'm sure I did.
Oh, you're sure, huh? Because I remember the opposite. I remember that every time he did something to try to please you, not only did you not thank him, you actually punished him for it.
That doesn't even make sense.
When he bought you that table, you kept going on about how you didn't like it. Why couldn't you just say thank you?
Well, why was he always buying me things?
Why do you think? He wanted to make you happy, but nothing he did for you was good enough.
Where are you getting all this stuff? Is this what your father writes about in those letters he sends you?
Of course not. He doesn't write about you at all. This is what I remember.
You were just a kid then. You don't even know what you remember.
I remember.
All right, you remember. Well, we need to keep our voices down. Mama's still sleeping. How long has she been in her room?
2 hours, maybe?
2 hours? No, I better go check on her.
Leave her alone. Let her sleep a while longer.
I'm just going to peek in on her. It's so strange that she could be asleep for 2 hours in the middle of the day.
She okay?
Well, she's breathing, so nothing to panic about at the moment, but I am worried. She's lost so much weight.
Yeah, I saw that.
What did you two talk about while I was gone?
I don't know. The past, I guess.
Look, I don't want you dredging up ancient history and upsetting her. You can see she's not well.
I don't necessarily agree that talking about the past upsets her. In fact, she seemed happy to talk about Eddie.
Oh, Eddie. Poor Eddie. He died so young. Mama never got over it. She still isn't over it.
Why should she be? He was her firstborn.
What, I would like to know, is so special about being the firstborn?
I don't know. The way Grandma explained it to me made it sound pretty special. Of course, she said you never understood.
Oh, I understood, all right. I understood that Mama always favored Eddie over me.
Mom.
She always did, and she still does. I, on the other hand, remember sitting right here on this very floor playing with my doll while she bustled around making custard, breaking the eggs into the green bowl, beating them with a fork, washing up the breakfast dishes, and falling out of love with me without even noticing. I don't know, Liz. I grew up in this house, and I know that. This is something that an only child could never understand.
I'm not an only child anymore.
You are my only child, and I will never fall out of love with you because you are my first, last, and only.
So what you're saying is I'm looking forward to a lifetime of your undivided attention.
That's it exactly.
Great. We also talked a little about Grandpa Luke.
Listen, I don't like to speak ill of the dead. Let me just say that my not bringing you up here so often, in his case, I did you a favor.
Oh? I don't know. Maybe I would have gotten a better car out of the deal. A brand new Ford Standard, for example?
Well, that would have been a neat trick. They haven't made the Ford Standard since the Second World War.
You know what I mean.
No, I really don't know what you mean, except that Mama must have told you that my first car was a Ford Standard and that Daddy bought that car for me. Mama was furious when she found out he spent all that money on a new car when so many things around here were practically falling apart.
Why did he do it then?
I don't know. I just know that Mama let me know she was angry over it. She never said it, but it felt like she was angry with me somehow. I never asked him for a car. I never even talked to him about a car.
Well, it would have been nice if Grandpa had left me, I don't know, what's the current Ford model?
I don't know, but anything would be better than that heap of junk out there.
I should test drive it before we take it tomorrow.
It's not a bad idea.
But it's so hot. I'm gonna go for a swim in the river.
All right. But don't swim in the Niobrara. Drive up to the Kippaha instead. I used to go tubing there with my friends when I was a kid. Flow is gentle. It's nice and shallow.
But the Niobrara is so beautiful.
I know, but the Niobrara is a faster flowing river and it can be treacherous in places. It's safer to swim in the Kippaha.
All right.
Liz? Did you bring a bathing suit?
No. Tell you what, I'll keep my underwear on.
All right then. Liz, be careful.
What are you so worried about? It's only water.
Liz goes out the back door to the yard. Alone in the kitchen, Emma picks up the pie plate and looks into it. She scoops up the remnants of the pie with her fingers and eats them. It is early evening. Emma and Clara are sitting at the kitchen table having coffee.
This is how I imagined this weekend. Sitting at the kitchen table talking with you over a cup of coffee.
I'm sorry I don't come visit more often.
Oh, you're here now, and that's what counts. And Liz, imagine my granddaughter, a college student. Oh, that girl is going places, mark my words.
I hope so, Mama.
Oh, that coffee's nice and strong. It's not too strong for you, is it, Emma?
No, I like it strong.
It's just what I need to get myself going again after that nap. You know how frugal I am?
Oh, I know you're frugal, Mama.
Oh, your father and I worked hard for what we have here, but there was never any extra, that's for sure. Despite all that, I never skimp on coffee. Luke liked his coffee strong, and so do I. I'd rather go without than drink the bathwater some people around here serve in their houses.
I couldn't agree more. Here's to strong coffee.
Well, aren't we fancy?
It'd be nice to have some pie with this.
Oh, let me get the rest of that pie.
I have some bad news about that pie. Liz ate it.
All of it? Well, I should have made 2 pies. You know, I forget how much young people eat. You know, I remember when Eddie was, gosh, you know, I talk too much about Eddie, don't I?
No, Mama, I don't talk much about him, but I think of him often. I mean, we didn't see too much of each other as adults, but I miss him. He was a good brother, and I wish he were still here.
I'm so glad to hear that, Emma.
And now Daddy's gone.
Yes, but it's not the same thing. Losing a husband, as it is losing a child, it's so much worse to lose a child.
I've been thinking a lot about Daddy since he died.
All good memories, I hope.
Now, Mama, how could that be?
Oh, let me get you more coffee.
Sit, I'll get it.
You know, what do you think of my new coffee pot? You know, all I have to do is put in the coffee and water and plug it in.
The modern miracle. Where did it come from?
Norma gave it to me for my birthday. Wasn't that nice of her?
Norma gave it to you, huh?
It makes good coffee, doesn't it?
It does. There you go.
Thank you. You know, Emma, it doesn't do any of us good to dwell on the past.
I don't know. I find that examining the past helps me to understand myself. Why I am the way I am, why I've done the things I've done.
You know, that's all this modern psychiatric hogwash, people blaming their parents for all their problems. Well, let me tell you.
You don't know anything about psychotherapy.
I know hogwash when I hear it.
Oh, really? Well, guess what, Mama? I've been in psychotherapy for years, and I can tell you that it's real. And yes, for your information, I can blame a whole lot of my problems on you and Daddy.
I didn't know you were. Why didn't you tell me?
It's personal. It's between me and my psychologist. I don't have to tell you.
I see. What did I do?
What do you mean?
You said you could blame a lot of your problems on your father and me. What did I do, Emma? Did this person tell you that?
It doesn't work that way.
I just don't understand. I've always tried to so hard.
You didn't do anything, Mama. Forget about it. I just said that because I was angry at what you said about psychotherapy.
Well, maybe I was wrong about that. If you think it's helped you somehow, then well, I'm sorry, Emma. What do I know about it? Maybe we should all get the psychotherapy.
You're so right about that. I wish I'd done it a long time ago, before the divorce. Maybe if I had, he'd still be here.
You know, I still can't understand it. Frank seemed like such a nice man.
He was a nice man. He was really nice. He sure wasn't a mean, violent son of a bitch like Daddy was.
Emma, I will not have that language in this house. And I will not have the dead spoken of in that way.
All right, Mama, calm down. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that Daddy was a mean, violent son of a bitch.
Emma.
I'm not a stranger here. I grew up in this house. I know.
You don't know everything?
I never said I know everything, but I know what I know.
Well, no one's perfect, for heaven's sakes. Your father had a temper, that I'll admit.
A temper? Is that what you call it? The whole time I lived in this house, I was convinced he was going to kill one of us sooner or later. Admit that, Mama. Didn't you ever think Daddy was going to kill you?
No. He's gone now.
Is he? To me, it feels like this whole farm is full of him.
Those are just things.
Not things. It's something else.
Oh, that's nonsense.
If it's nonsense, then what are you hiding? Why won't you tell me about how he tried to kill you?
Your father did not try to kill me.
Well, he did something. Come on. Mama, tell me what he did. It might do you some good.
You know, it was such a long time ago. How would telling it now do me good? You know, anyway, it no longer matters.
It matters to me.
All right. One day he got so angry at me over something. He was roaring around the house, breaking plates and gallon jars of pickles and applesauce and beating on the beds. And all I knew was that someone was next. And then he said something about Julius.
Julius?
Oh, he hated that rooster. Maybe because he made such a racket. Maybe it was because I paid so much attention to him.
Daddy was jealous of a rooster.
Anyway, when he started in on Julius, I went running out to the yard and scooped him up and took off running across the field. Luke came out of the house and chased us. But we had a good head start, and he gave up after a while and went back into the house. Anyway, I didn't want Luke to get Julius, so I put him down the field and left him there.
And that's how the coyote got him?
That's just what I told you kids. Julius was such a smart rooster. He found his way back home. But the next morning when I went out to the coop, he was just lying there. His neck was broken. And all his beautiful feathers. It's so foolish. Going on like this about a rooster.
But you just proved my point. It's like I learned how to be mean from him. I wasn't born mean. At least I don't think I was. But somehow he taught me that meanness. And that's how I was with my husband. I was mean to him in a different way, but mean is mean.
So after this psychotherapy, you're feeling better now?
Not great, but better.
What about Liz?
What about Liz?
She told me she has problems.
She does.
Does she get the psychotherapy?
I don't know. I don't think so. Why?
She was asking me such strange questions. I didn't know what to make of it.
What kind of questions?
She wanted to know why Luke left the truck to her and why he didn't leave it to her cousin, Norma.
I'm asking myself the same question. Oh, that's Liz coming back from her swim.
Sounds like that truck needs some work.
She told you we're trading it in, didn't she?
Good riddance as far as I'm concerned. Oh. Oh.
What?
Your hair.
It dried in the truck with the windows open.
Did you go to the Kippaha?
No, I went to the Niobrara.
I told you to go to the Kippaha.
If you wanted me to go to the Kippaha, you should have told me to go to the Niobrara.
Yeah, I remember one time after haying, Luke was so hot, he said he couldn't get cool again until we went to the Niobrara and splashed around a bit.
You see, even my grandparents weren't afraid to swim in the Niobrara. What were you so worried about?
Well, it depends on how much water's coming through there. It's safe enough this time of year.
I never knew you did that.
Oh, this was before you children came along. It was fun, though, cooling off after a hot day in the field. Luke and I splashing about in the water like a couple of kids. I remember thinking, oh, this is so nice, enjoying this together, because we rarely did anything like that. At least I was enjoying it until Luke grabbed my head and held it underwater.
He held your head underwater. You said he never tried to.
Oh, it was horsing around is all it was.
It was mean, and again, proves my...
Oh, will you look at the time? I have to go out to the yard and do my evening chores.
Can I help you, Grandma?
Of course you can. I would love that.
I'll be right out. I just want to talk to Mom first.
Oh, whenever you're ready. You'll know where to find me.
I drove by the cafe.
Did you stop in to see Norma?
No, she doesn't know me.
I'm sure she knows who you are.
I don't know. Maybe it would have been different if we'd seen more of each other growing up.
Oh, that again.
No, I mean, even when we came up here to visit Grandma and Grandpa, why didn't we ever go visit Eddie's family?
There wasn't time.
Oh, no, but there was always time for Helen Christensen. I don't know what you two talk about, but you never wanted me along. You always left me here. I mean, what is so special about Helen Christensen? What is so important that every time we get up here, you go running off to coffee or lunch or whatever with her?
What I would like to know is what is wrong with...
No, I don't care about that. I really don't. But why didn't you ever just drop me off at Eddie's farm when you went to see her? I could have gotten to know my cousins.
Wait a minute. Before you were complaining about how you didn't get to know your grandmother. I left you here with her when You know what? I'm not going to argue this with you anymore. If you wanted to get to know Norma, you could have stopped by the cafe, but you didn't.
I wanted to go swimming.
There you go.
You know, the river felt so good. Cold water flowing around me, pushing on me, trying to knock me down, losing my footing and floating down the river a ways, then finding my footing again and standing my ground against the flow.
I don't know, that sounds exhausting.
The great thing is that the water was really cold. I mean, it was freezing. I'm chilled to the bone now. It's weird, but this heat doesn't bother me anymore.
Maybe I should have gone with you. It's still brutal in here to me.
No, I feel okay in here now. I feel clean or something. Or like I want to be clean.
Well, if you want to be clean, you better go take a bath and wash off that dirty river water.
No, you don't understand.
All right.
I feel like I want to tell you something.
Oh?
Something that happened when I was little. Something about Grandpa Luke. One time when I was alone with him.
You were never alone with your grandfather.
What?
You were never alone with him. I know that for a fact because I was very careful not to leave you alone with him. Your Uncle Eddie and I agreed that we would never leave.
You left me alone with him.
I didn't. I never did that.
You did.
No, I was so careful not to. You must remember this wrong.
I remember. It was when you went to see Helen Christensen.
But Mama was always here. I left you with your grandmother to take care of you. She was here.
Grandma was here in the house. She wasn't in the haymow.
The haymow?
Grandpa told me that one of the barn cats had a litter of kittens in the haymow, and he wanted to show me the kittens. I only wanted to see the kittens.
Liz runs out the back door to the yard. Emma stares after her in shock. It is late at night. The women are in the kitchen canning tomatoes.
Well, scoop them out now and get them in the cold water.
Scooping the tomatoes.
They only need to be in the boiling water long enough to loosen the skin.
I'd like to scoop myself into this bowl of cold water.
You would you?
I'm officially hot again.
Again?
After taking a dip in the Niobrara, I'd cooled so much the heat didn't bother me at all. I guess it was just a temporary cooling off.
No, here, look. Now, just by blanching them, the skin comes right off. Well, see that? Now, you try one.
Oops. Not as pretty as the way you do it, Grandma.
It doesn't have to be done pretty. It just has to be done.
You know, I lied when I said I never canned anything after I left this house.
I don't remember you canning.
It was a long time before you were born.
So what did you can?
Peaches. Your father and I canned peaches together one year. He wanted to know why I insisted on putting a pit into each jar. And, you know, I had no idea. I just knew that's how my mother taught me how to do it. So why is that, Mama? Why do you put a pit into the jar?
Well, it keeps them from getting brown.
So how come when you buy them at the store, there's no pit in the can?
I never really thought about it. Well, I don't know. It was the way my mother taught me, so that's what I always did.
So you and Dad canned peaches once?
Yeah, a guy he worked with had some kind of sideline bringing in peaches from Colorado, and your father got talked into buying a huge crate of them. I was furious when I saw all those peaches. I said, what on earth are we going to do with all those peaches? There's only two of you, us. Why would you buy so many peaches?
Maybe he felt sorry for the guy.
I don't know. It was an awful lot. Anyway, I went out and I bought the jars and all the other stuff, and we spent the evening canning.
I'm trying to picture that happening in our kitchen. I can't.
Well, it was nice working together on something like that. And those peaches were absolutely delicious. We ate them all winter.
I taught you well.
You did, Mama.
And you never canned peaches again?
No. The next year when the guy had peaches, your father asked me first, and I said, no more peaches. Maybe if we'd done stuff like that together more often.
Well, even if it was just the one time, it's a good skill to have.
I ended up giving all those jars I bought to my neighbor. She made good use of them.
You should have given them to me, Emma. You know I can always use more jars.
Mama, this was ages ago. Anyway, now that Daddy's gone, how are you going to eat all these tomatoes?
I don't have to eat them all myself. I give some away. And I trade off some with the other ladies at church for jams and honey and sometimes peaches. These tomatoes are as good as currency around here.
Mama, all this work. I mean, if we weren't here, you'd do this all by yourself?
Oh, no. Norma and her mother would have come over to help. They help me with my canning every year, and I help them with theirs.
What happened to them this year?
Well, you and Liz were coming. I didn't need their help this year.
You mean to tell me that if we didn't come this weekend...
I'm enjoying this. I'm glad we came at canning time.
Mama, are you all right? Here, let me get you a glass of water.
No, I don't need water. It's not that.
It won't hurt you to drink some water. Here.
Oh, all right.
Do you want to go lie down a bit?
No. No, just give me a second. I just need to get some tissues. You two carry on. I'll be right back.
What's wrong with her?
I don't know. Maybe just a summer cold.
Uh-oh. I guess I'm supposed to take the skins off those tomatoes. I was kind of hoping Grandma would do the rest of them.
I'll do them. You're kind of making a mess of it.
Be my guest.
Why are we doing this? This is crazy. We should have gotten in the car and driven to Lincoln. Leave the cursed truck here. Nobody wants it anyway. We could have stayed in a hotel and moved you into the dorm tomorrow. Why didn't I think of that before?
You can't keep doing that to her. You can't keep driving away.
Why not?
Because someone has to can the tomatoes.
Why? Why do we have to?
It's a family tradition.
Well, some family traditions should be put to rest. Some family traditions... Oh, Liz, what you told me today about your grandfather, my heart is broken. And I wish we were away from here so that we could talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. I wish I hadn't told you that. I never planned to tell you. There was just something about being in that cold river that made me want to get rid of it once and for all.
I wish I'd gone with you. I want to get rid of it too.
You see, all I did was burden you with...
No, you didn't. That's not what I'm talking about.
Then what are you talking about?
On Wednesday nights, Mama used to go into town to collect the cream money. She never took us kids with her. I suppose it was her one night to get away from this house and be on her own for a while, talking to the grocer and the other people she'd meet in town. Sometimes Eddie was off somewhere else and I was alone with Daddy. She left me alone with him.
I can't imagine. I just can't. But you knew. You knew.
I thought I was leaving you with Mama. I didn't think... Frankly, I was thinking about myself. You asked me what was so special about Helen Christensen, why I always go visit her every time we come up here.
Oh, forget it. I don't give a damn about Helen Christensen.
No, listen. There's nothing special about Helen. It's just that she was my friend all through. What I mean is that until I started to see my psychologist, Helen was the only person I could talk to about what my father was doing, and then later about the divorce.
Mom, it's okay.
No, it's not. I was careless. And just like that time I almost sat down in the rocker when you were a baby, my attention wavered and I just didn't see. Oh, Liz, I'm so sorry. Don't you know that there is nothing more precious to me than you are?
I know.
Forgive me, sweetheart. Please forgive me.
I forgive you.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. You know, the night before I left this house, Mama and I were here in this kitchen canning tomatoes, and it was hot and humid, just like this. We were up so late, both of us completely exhausted. And I remember how I wanted to tell her that night, but instead I just told her a lot of other trivial things that she'd done that bothered me. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't tell her this.
I really wish you had.
I wasn't as brave as you.
It wasn't bravery. It was just cold water.
Well, like I said, I wish I'd gone with you for that swim.
Wait a minute, you're not still thinking of telling her?
You know, I feel like I can now. Like I can finally do it.
No, you can't.
But why?
Whatever you need to say, tell it to your psychologist, tell it to Helen Christensen, tell it to me if you have to, but don't do this. It's not what you want.
But you told me.
That's different.
Yes, it is. You don't have to wonder whether I love you or not. You know I love you.
And I love you. Did you hear what I said? I love you, Mom.
I know, honey. And
do you hear what I'm doing? I'm telling my mother I love her. Is that really so hard for you to do?
I don't know how I caught this summer cold.
Grandma, why don't you go to bed? We can finish this up for you.
Oh no, I couldn't sleep. I had that long nap this afternoon. Now I'm wide awake.
that cough sounded bad.
It ran its course for the time being. Well, let's get back to work. What are these doing in here? They still have the skins on them.
Sorry, Grandma. Mom and I got to talking about something.
No, that's fine, but you can talk and work at the same time.
Oh, yes. That's how it always was in this house. No time for talk.
That is not true. We talk plenty.
While working, yes.
There's nothing wrong with talking while working.
Of course there isn't.
Here, let's see you do it.
Oops. Still not right, is it?
You'll get the hang of it. Don't worry. Well, here, let me do these.
I'm sorry. I'm slowing down the process, aren't I?
No, everyone needs time to learn.
That almost feels like a breeze.
Yes, Liz, you can speed up the process by standing in front of an open window.
Maybe I can. Hey, Grandma, you left your wedding here. You left your wedding ring here by the sink.
No, I always take it off when I'm up to my elbows in squishy tomatoes.
Do you mind if I move it? I'm afraid I'm gonna knock it into the drain or something.
Oh no, don't worry about that.
Mama, I really don't think you should leave your ring there.
Well, all right then. You can move it away from the sink. Liz, what are you doing?
I'm just looking for the inscription. I want to see what Grandpa had them write you when you got married.
There's no inscription in that ring.
Really? I thought they always inscribed wedding rings, especially back in those days.
Well, maybe some people did, but that ring's not inscribed.
You're right. There's nothing written in here except, I'm trying to see what this says in here. This ring is so...
Liz, put your grandmother's ring down somewhere safe.
Wow, this ring isn't real gold. Did you know that, Grandma? That your wedding ring wasn't real gold?
Liz, stop that. Of course it's gold. How would a wedding ring not be gold?
It's not. It's just some cheap metal with a gold tone finish. In fact, right here, I can see where it's wearing off.
You can see that.
Is that true, Mama? Your wedding ring isn't real gold?
Did you know, Grandma?
Well, of course I knew.
That cheap son of a bitch.
You didn't know?
No. How would I know that? She always told me that I would get her wedding ring when...
Right, Emma.
I never wanted it, Mama. I never expected you and Daddy to leave me anything, but why did you always say that?
I always thought I could save up the money, but...
Save up the money? Why should you have to save up the money for your own wedding ring?
Because the ring...
Because Daddy was too cheap and selfish and...
No. I'll just listen for a minute. Your father did give me a ring when we got married, a real gold band that he worked very hard to save up for. But I was careless with it. I lost my ring in the river. It was that day we were cooling off in the Niobrara. Your father started horsing around, holding my head underwater. The river filled my mouth and throat, and I panicked. I clawed his arms, and he got mad about that, but I thought, and somehow in all of that, I lost the ring. I don't know how. It just slipped off my finger in the struggle.
And he didn't buy you another ring?
But he was so angry. Said if I had a ring, I had a ring if I could find it in the bottom of the Niobrara. Well, after all, it was my fault. I was the one who lost the ring.
It was not your fault, Mama. He was holding your head underwater.
All right, it doesn't matter now whose fault it was. The point is, I wanted to leave you a ring, Emma, a real gold ring, but I was just never able to get the money together.
I don't want a ring from you, Mama. I have a ring. It's sitting in my jewelry box at home. I don't know why I haven't sold the damn thing already. I mean, he's remarried out in California. I'm sure he sold his ring to buy a new one.
Well, then sell it, Emma. Sell your ring and move on.
I can't, Mama. I can't move on.
Why not? Why do you stay so angry? Being angry won't bring him back.
I don't want Daddy to come back. I'm not angry at him for dying. I'm angry at him for...
Emma, what on earth? I wasn't talking about your father. I was talking about Frank. Being angry won't bring your husband back.
You could say that again.
Shut up, Liz. This isn't about that, and you know it.
Emma, you shouldn't talk to your daughter like that.
Oh, no, Mama? Are you giving me lessons now on being a mother?
No, I didn't mean
At
it.
least my daughter can talk to me. At least she can tell me the things that make her angry.
Mom, please don't do this. Let's just get these stupid tomatoes into these jars and go to bed, all right?
I knew it. I shouldn't have asked you two to help me with this. Neither of you is really interested in it.
No, I'm sorry, Grandma.
You don't have to apologize.
I do. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. It's just that I'm tired and hot. I am interested. I am.
I know, honey. But I should have asked Norma and her mother. I know that now.
What? I don't have anything to apologize for.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Emma.
Did you hear that?
I heard. What, she says she's sorry and it all goes away? I don't think so.
But I am sorry.
What are you sorry for, Mama?
For whatever it is I've done or said that makes you so angry with me.
Oh, that's easy.
No, it's not. Not when I don't even know what it is.
Do you want to know?
Wait, think about what you're doing here.
She has to know.
Why does she have to know?
Because I need her to know.
This isn't what you need from her.
What do I need to know?
Something about Daddy. Something I never told you before.
I've known you were going to do this.
What is it?
It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Let's just forget it and get the canning finished.
Oh, fine with me. Let's give that subject a rest.
I can't. I can't let it rest.
Mom, please try.
Oh, Emma, we talked plenty about him this afternoon when we were having coffee, about how the things he did bothered you and how maybe it was why you had trouble in your marriage. I listened to you, and I understood. I did.
No, Mama, you didn't understand.
What do you want, Emma? Do you want Luke to come back from the dead and apologize to you? Well, he can't. He's dead and buried.
And burning in hell, God willing.
Emma, don't say that. No, take it back.
Why should I take it back?
Because it's a terrible sin to wish eternal damnation on someone and on your own father. Now take it back.
Sin! We're talking about Daddy and you're telling me that I've sinned. What about his sins?
I don't care about his sins. His sins are between him and God. That's got nothing to do with us anymore.
It has everything to do with us. It has everything to do with me. It has everything to do with Liz.
Don't you dare include me.
You are included.
Not in this thing you're doing to her. I choose not to be included in this.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Emma. It's late and we have so much work left to do. Whatever it is, why are you starting it up now? You always do this.
Listen, Mama. I know you want to go on with your tomatoes and all this cozy, happy being together, but the truth is, for me, this house is where it all started. There was this family here, but not for me. Not a family, because there was no one here for me. There was no one here to protect me. This house is where I was alone.
Emma, you were not alone. I was here. I was here, wasn't I?
Not for me. Never for me. Oh, but Eddie.
Oh, Eddie was my firstborn. You've never understood.
He's been dead for years, and I'm still here, but it never changes.
I've tried to change things between us. I have.
Then why don't you listen to me?
I listen. I sat right here this afternoon and I listened to you.
But you're not listening to me now. I am trying to tell you something about Daddy, who, by the way, I am absolutely certain is burning in hell at this very moment.
Be careful, Emma, please. Be careful what you say.
Oh, Mama, I'm tired of being careful. Tired of keeping my mouth shut about all the things that went on in this house. That's how it always was for me. Me keeping my mouth shut like a good girl.
I don't remember that. I remember that night before you left. You stood right here in this kitchen and told me everything I did wrong.
No, I didn't tell you everything. I didn't tell you what happened on Wednesday nights.
No, please don't do this. Look, we're all tired and worked up. We shouldn't talk about this now.
If you're tired, go to bed.
Mom, please think about this. You can still
go to bed.
You know what? If it's the only way for you, go ahead and tell her. But leave me out of it. I'm here to eat tomatoes with my grandmother, and I'd really like to get back to doing that.
Okay. Okay. You want to know why I'm so angry with you? Why I can't move on? This is why. Every Wednesday night, you used to go into town to collect the cream money, and you left me here with Daddy.
I don't understand it. You're angry because I didn't take you with me into town.
I'm angry because you left me with him. That's what I'm angry about. That's why I can't move on. Every Wednesday night, you kept going into town to collect the cream money as if nothing was wrong in this house.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, I think you do.
Oh, you want me to say it? Your father was mean. He was mean to me, and sometimes he was mean to you and Eddie. But he was your father. And a man can be mean and still be a good father.
He did things to me when you weren't here, Mama.
What things?
I don't even know how to say this. What are the words for this? He forced himself on me.
So what do you mean he forced himself on you?
You know what that means. The way a man forces himself on a woman. Mama, don't pretend that you didn't hear what I just said.
All right, you told her. Now leave her alone, would you? Grandma, are you all right?
What is it, Mama? You don't believe it? Is that it? Tell me you don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
There. Now let's get back to canning.
You're lying.
Oh, come on.
You believe it.
If I believed such a thing, if I believed my own husband ever did such a thing to you, I couldn't go on living. I couldn't.
Look what you're doing to her.
You'll live, Mama. I promise. But you have to believe me. I am telling you the truth about what he did to me.
There's so little time. I don't want what's left to be like this.
Neither do I, but don't you understand that I have to tell you everything now?
Yes. Yes. Everything. I know it now.
Why don't you go get some rest and we can talk about this in the morning?
You shouldn't have to hear things like this.
I'm fine. It's you I'm worried about.
You're not fine. Don't lie to her. We are done with lying. Did you know?
How can you ask me that?
That's not an answer. Did you know?
No, this is too much now. Let's finish up the...
Oh, no. No, we're not going to do that now. We're going to finish this. Did you know? Didn't you at least notice something? No. Of course you didn't. I was like a fish in a bowl in this house. Nobody noticed.
Oh, Emma, that's not true.
Really, Mama? Think back. You lived in this house too.
Yes, but how could I know what was happening when I wasn't here?
You're my mother. That's how you should have known.
You should have told me. Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, I wish I had. Not when I was a child. I couldn't then, but when Liz was born...
Oh, stop. That's not fair. You agreed to leave me out of it.
I know, but I shouldn't have.
It's not for you to tell.
I'm your mother.
But I don't want her to know.
We all need to start telling the truth.
Oh, dear Lord, what more is there to tell?
What do you think? I did the same thing you did. I left her with him. I didn't think I did, but God forgive me. I left her with that bastard because you were here, Mama. You were here, and I thought you would protect her.
I was here?
Yes, you were here, but he found a way. I was so careful, always so careful, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. He found a way. And that's why I have to ask you again. Did you know this about Daddy? Did you know what he was doing to me?
No. I didn't know anything.
Tell the truth, Mama. You've got to tell me the truth right now.
I'm tired. I have to go to bed. I don't feel well.
You weren't too tired to stay up all night and can tomatoes. Did you know?
Emma, I didn't.
What, Mama? You didn't what?
Before you said something about Liz. Did you mean?
Did I mean what? Go ahead. Ask your question, Mama. Ask it now.
Did Luke do to Liz what? Oh, my Lord. My dear Lord, help us. My sweet baby, my poor sweet baby, what he did to you. I should have taken better care of you, never let you out of my sight. Can you forgive me?
I forgive you.
Emma? Emma?
You want me to forgive you? Well, it's not that easy for me. You haven't answered my question.
What?
Did you know?
No. I told you before I didn't know anything.
I don't believe that, Mama. The truth now. Did you know?
Please stop asking me that.
Did you know?
I can't stand this. You're killing me.
Did you know?
Grandma, did you know?
Something wasn't right. It was never right. But I didn't know what it was. That's the truth. I swear it.
I believe you.
If you knew something wasn't right, you should have found out what it was.
But you would never tell me anything.
You should have asked.
I didn't know what to.
But you didn't need me to talk to. You had Eddie and you loved him and you didn't love me.
You can't think that.
When I wanted you, it was to take your doll and go play by the window.
Well, but sometimes a mother has to.
I needed you, but you made me feel like just another child tracking mud onto the linoleum.
No, you were not that to me.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't have enough love for both of us.
Oh, Emma, if I had ever made you think I didn't love you, I'm so sorry. Please, please forgive me.
All these years, I thought you didn't love me, and that was why.
I love you, Emma. Your whole life I've loved you. But you've never let me love you, and I never understood why.
You didn't want to understand.
I want to now. Help me understand now. We can talk some more. Emma, please, don't turn away.
She's telling you she loves you. Isn't that what you really wanted to hear?
Emma, look at me.
Mom, turn around, talk to her.
Leave me alone, both of you.
Emma.
Mama, what is it? Do you need more water? Liz, go get your grandmother a glass of water. This is blood. You're coughing up blood. Is this why you were at the clinic?
Yes. The doctor up in Burke says it might be cancer.
Cancer?
Might be cancer. They won't know for sure until they take a look-see.
A look-see?
A turn under the knife is this Thursday.
When were you going to tell me this?
I was going to tell you, Emma. I was going to tell you. No, I was going to tell you.
Thursday. Okay. Tomorrow, Liz and I will drive to Lincoln and
You don't have to change your schedule.
Someone has to take you to the hospital.
Don't worry about it. Norma will take me.
Norma has babies at home. She can't.
Mom, let's just stay until next weekend.
Oh, no, Liz, you wouldn't have to do that.
No, you're not missing a whole week of classes.
Matter, I'll catch up later.
Do you hear me? No. She's my mother. I'll take care of her.
She's my grandmother. How am I not?
When my time comes, you can drop whatever you're doing and take care of me.
Liz, your mother's right. It really is best if you go back to Lincoln and start your classes. I don't need everyone right now. I just need Emma.
Good. Liz and I will leave early in the morning. I think if I don't dawdle too long in Lincoln, I can make it back here tomorrow night.
Oh, Monday will be fine, Emma. Don't drive late at night. It's not safe. I'll be fine.
Grandma, if we finished canning the tomatoes, would you go to bed now?
Oh, I had that long nap this afternoon. I'll be fine.
It's the middle of the night. You really should be in bed.
Will you, Grandma? Will you go to bed if we finish it for you?
All right, then. Now I am tired in spite of that long nap. Oh, it's so strange, but I am.
Here, let me help you.
Oh, that would be nice. You know, this is how I always hoped it would be. I wanted us to be close. I wanted it so badly.
I wanted that too, Mama.
We can still be close, can't we?
Yes, I think we can. I would like that.
Now, when you said before that you thought I didn't love you, you know that's not true, don't you?
Mama, you have to understand how it was in this house for me. I'm sorry.
Oh, Emma, it's not true. I swear it. I always loved you. I did, but somehow I didn't see you clearly. I always thought you were my difficult child, and that was that. God forgive me, I never looked any closer.
I wanted to tell you all the time, and I tried, but I just couldn't. I was so afraid.
Yeah, of course you were. That man.
No, you don't understand. It wasn't him. It was you. I didn't tell because I was afraid of you.
Afraid of me?
I thought that if I told you this horrible thing about Daddy, that you'd never love me again.
Oh, my poor child, my poor baby. I knew something was wrong. I should have asked what it was. I should have asked and asked and asked again until I made you tell me what it was. Until you knew that nothing you say or do can ever stop me from loving you.
Oh, Mama. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you too. You look so tired. Let's get you to bed.
You're sure you two can finish the canning by yourselves?
You taught us well.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Good night, Grandma.
Good night, honey. See you in the morning.
Emma supports Clara as they slowly leave the kitchen. Liz watches them go. Then she looks around, goes to the counter, and picks up one of the tomatoes out of the cold water. She holds it up, slips the skin off of it, and looks at it with delight.
Ah, that's how it's done. It is a good skill to have.
It is shortly after dawn. Jars of tomatoes are lined up on the counter. Emma is at the kitchen table having her breakfast. Her overnight bag is packed and ready. Liz enters from the bedrooms carrying her bag.
Morning.
Yes, it is.
Coffee?
In the percolator. I also made toast. Eat some.
Is Grandma up yet?
No, this feels so strange. I've never been up before her. A rooster couldn't be up before her.
It's bad, isn't it?
I think it must be.
Mom, will you drive the truck to Lincoln and I'll drive your car?
Sure, honey. You don't have to drive that truck again.
Thanks.
Is it the fish hooks?
No, when you're driving, you don't really see them. I mean, you know they're there and everything, but you're looking at the road, so you don't actually see them over your head. What bothered me was the smell. I didn't notice it on the way, maybe because it was so hot and I was sweaty, so everything stank and I couldn't just smell one thing. But on my way back after my swim, I could smell it. It was like when you get clean all over in the shower and then suddenly you can smell other people's odor. It was like that. It smelled like Grandpa, what I remember he smelled like. I'm not crazy.
I know.
It stinks. It's a nauseating smell. I had to pull over and get some air. I thought I was going to throw up.
Don't worry. I'll clean it up real good. I'll get that smell out.
You have to. No one would buy it with that smell in there. You sure you don't mind driving the truck?
I'd like to drive it into the river and watch it sink in the mud. As soon as the dealerships open on Monday morning, we're going to unload that steaming pile of
Mom?
pig manure.
It'll be great to finally have a car.
And someday you'll drive away in that car, farther away than Lincoln, as far away as California, maybe. You'll leave me in that car, Liz, just like I did my mother.
I wouldn't be leaving you. I have no reason to leave you, but you have to understand I have a father, and for a long time I haven't known him. I need to know him again. That's all. But I wouldn't be leaving you.
Will you come back when I'm spitting blood on the kitchen floor?
Don't say that. That is never going to happen.
Something is going to happen. It always does.
Whenever you need me, I'll be back, okay?
And take care of me?
Yes, of course. Why are you saying all this scary stuff? It's an eternity before you're as old as Grandma Clara.
Just planning ahead, my darling.
Mom, I don't think we should have secrets from each other.
I agree. Liz, when you say something like that, then you have to tell a secret.
Oh, I know. It's just that I'm not sure how to. When we get to Lincoln, there's someone I want you to meet.
Oh?
Promise me you'll keep an open mind.
Uh-oh.
Mom.
Okay, I'll keep an open mind.
Well, look at you two, up at the crack of dawn.
Good morning, Grandma.
Oh, Mama, you didn't have to get up this early. Why don't you sleep in for a change?
I did sleep in. I should have been up an hour and a half ago. Will you look at that? You finished the canning? Oh, they sealed up nicely.
It was fun, Grandma. And you were right. It is a good skill to have.
Now, I'm glad you feel that way. Oh, my goodness. My chickens must wonder where their breakfast is. And poor old Elsie, heavy with milk, she must wonder when I'm coming to relieve her. She's used to being milked much earlier than this.
Mama, couldn't you call Russell to come over and help you with the chores?
Oh, no. He has his own farm to tend to. And anyway, I feel fine this morning.
Well, maybe before we leave, we can...
No, absolutely not. You two have a long drive and you need to get out on that highway. This thing that's ailing me, whatever it is, it comes and goes. And this morning, it went.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
All right, then. I'll just do these dishes and we'll be on our way.
No, leave those to me. After all the work you did last night, you don't need to be washing dishes.
All right, Mama.
Liz, could we say our goodbyes now? I'd like to talk to your mother for a bit before she goes.
Oh, of course. Well, goodbye, Grandma.
Goodbye, honey. Be good, study hard, and give my regards to that new friend of yours.
I will, Grandma. Bye-bye now. I love you.
Oh, sweet girl, I love you too. You know how I always said I was leaving you my wedding ring?
Oh, Mama, I don't care about the ring. You know that.
I know, but I still want to do that. I want to leave you a real gold ring.
Mama, listen. That ring there, the one that you bought for yourself, the one that I've seen on your finger my whole life, that's the one I want. Leave me that ring.
I wish I had more to give you.
What I need is for you to get better, Mama. Listen, we've got to get going, but don't worry, okay? I will be back here tomorrow evening.
Good. We can talk more then.
That's right. We'll have plenty of time to talk.
I'll bake another lemon meringue pie. You never got any yesterday.
Oh, Mama. I'll be here, Mama. I will be here.
Emma goes out to the yard and starts up the truck. Clara waves to her from the window over the kitchen sink. Then she picks up one of the jars of tomatoes, hugs it to her breast, and smiles.
Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-I. My tears flowed like a river when you said goodbye. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-do. I'll cross every river until I find you. We met in the spring where the Platte River bends. We strolled by the cedar where we became friends. I told you I loved you by the almighty Mo, but alongside the dismal you said you must go. One final embrace, then you slipped away. Your last words assured me I'd see you someday. You promised to meet me by the river again, the Calamus, Kippahaw, or the Republican. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-I. My tears flowed like a river when you said goodbye. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-do. I'll cross every river until I find you. I fished the Niobrara while thinking of you, watched many a sunrise alongside the blue. I prayed down on my knees long into the night that you'd find your way back to me on the White. Where the Nemaha flows, the ladies are fine. Along the Snake and the Loop, they're simply divine. Girls by the Elkhorn are pretty and fair, but to you, my sweet love, no one can compare. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-I. My tears flowed like a river when you said goodbye. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-do. I'll cross every river until I find you. I've crossed every river that flows o'er the plains. I've searched all my life to find you again. But my spirit grows weary as day's light slowly fades, and I long to lay with you neath the river's cool shade. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-do. I'm so lonely, my darling, oh how I miss you. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-day. I'll cross over Jordan to join you this day. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-I. My tears flowed like a river when you said goodbye. Singing hi diddle-dee, diddle-o, diddle-do. I'll cross every river until I find you.